those of you who haven't met me yet, they sprung me from Sidebar to do the next panel. I'm Heather Clancy with Green Biz Group. How do you get companies and organizations to think about circularity from the drawing board phase? That is what the next conversation is about, and I am really honored to introduce two companies that have been really committed to embedding this into their entire ethos. We have 3M and Pepsi. Julie? Target. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just made that up. I'm going to start over again. And they actually have worked together on this as well. So Julie Guggemos from Target and Gayle Schueller from 3M. So I wanted to actually ask each of them to start out a little bit with how they've been thinking about this. What drove this decision to really embed circularity into your product ethos?
Sure.
I'll start with you, Julie.
Okay, I'll start. And first, I lead the product design team at Target. So we create the products and brands that our guests love, just to give you context. And also, I'm honored to be here and to be on stage with Gayle. We have worked together in prior years. Our teams have collaborated on innovation and design, and we both serve on the Walker Art Center Board of Trustees. So I thought I'd share that. It's fun to share with you.
Exactly.
But to answer your question, when we think about design at Target, we say it is the heart of our culture. It's the heart of what we do. It's in our DNA. And a lot of people don't know this, but we have thousands of designers and engineers and scientists dedicated to creating both our retail products and brands and also our non-retail products. So think shopping carts, fixtures, in-store marketing. And so a few years ago, when we created our corporate responsibility strategy, one of the core pillars was anchored in circular design and designing for tomorrow. And we knew it was important to start with the design team because most products start there. And so we created a program that we rolled out to the design team at the end of last year. We trained all 1,000 designers and engineers and our merchants as well. And the training resonated so well with our teams. That brings me so much joy because it was a mindset that we had to teach with the team, and they embraced it head on. They know it's the right thing to do. Our talent, on our team is passionate about circular design and creating purpose-driven products. And they were excited about updating their skill sets. We know the best design schools and engineering schools teach circular design in the programming. And so they were excited to have access to similar training to really up their ante and get better at what they do.
We're going to get more into that in a moment. I want to go back to 3M, and you introduced this sustainability value commitment.
Right.
So how does circularity play into that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so 3M's been involved in sustainability for some time. When Julie talks about the work that we were doing together, I think it was back in 2010, where we brought our R&D and design teams together to plan things that we have had commitments and work around sustainability and circularity thinking for a long time. This past fall, in November, we announced a new strategic sustainability framework. And based on work that we had done amongst our 90,000 employees around the world, as well as engaging customers and thought leaders and a whole broad range of stakeholders, we established 3 pillars that were all about our ambition to help science improve lives. And those pillars, the first one was about science for circular, the second was about science for climate, and the third was about science for community. So within science for circular, the big commitment that we've now made as a corporation is that every new product we launch, and we launch about 1,000 new products every year, is committed to having a sustainability value commitment. And very often those are rooted in circularity, whether it's taking waste materials or recycled content or plant-based materials or collaborating with others to close a loop. Every new product has some way that they're helping contribute to sustainability.
So at Earth Day this year, your company announced a whole new range of cleaning products. How does circular design play into that? One of the things that really intrigues me thinking about, what's in something is how safe it will be as it's
Exactly.
circulating through. So
Yeah, so we launched a new brand called Everspring. It is a household essentials brand. It carries everything from laundry detergent to dish soap, and our team worked on this brand for a couple of years, and we wanted to ensure that the ingredients were safe, either plant-based or bio-based, that the bottles were made from recyclable materials and the sprays, and that they could be recycled afterwards. And the efficacy was really good. And I can contest the window spray. They're all really good, but the window spray is like magic, honestly. And so the team worked on so many iterations of development to make sure the texture, the foaming, the fragrance, the efficacy was just right to bring this brand to life. And then one thing I'll add too, we even presented it on a new fixture program. We used to present new product offerings on corrugated cardboard in store. They wouldn't stand the test of time. They had to be thrown out. So we just moved to new metal fixtures. These are outside of the gondolas that you see in the store, but it's the feature fixtures. And in principle with circular design, the intent is to use them over and over again.
So some of those ingredients that you picked, how did you have to change some of your suppliers in order to get there, and how did you manage that process?
We have a clean program at Target for both national brands and own brands. So we did a lot of research to understand harmful chemicals and the ones we want to stay away from. And so, we also knew with this brand we wanted to stay with bio-based or plant-based materials. And so we have a very robust sourcing team who sources from all over the world, and they helped find the right vendors to work with to bring this to life.
Okay. And they were imbued with the circularity vision in order to go.
Yeah.
So Gayle, you have some very iconic products that have been directly influenced by this circular mindset. The Scotch Brite sponge is one of them. So can you talk about how you thought, give me an example of a product that's been rethought with circularity in mind.
Yeah, so Scotch Brite scouring sponges, most of us probably remember our grandmothers working with a traditional yellow and green Scotch Brite scouring sponge. That's been around for decades, but the fact is that it's been reinvented multiple times. So for example, several years ago, we launched the Greener Clean line, where we brought in agave-based fibers. So taking the waste from tequila production to bring into Greener Clean scouring solutions, and replicating with things like Harawa fiber from Brazil or coconut in India for different markets around the world. More recently this year, we've taken all of the Scotch Brite that you would be purchasing around the world and replacing those fibers with 100% renewable recycled fibers, using the science to help understand and advance how we create that same scouring capability, how we create the same look and feel that you need with 100% recycled content.
That's great.
And to go back to the training.
Yes.
Because I think that's important for both
Sure.
organizations. When you think about what a designer is taught to do, and designing for beauty and designing for...
Absolutely.
How did you address this issue of let's teach the designers and the developers within us, our organization, to think differently?
The first thing we did was research, and we spoke to experts in the industry. We did a workshop with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and took away a lot of the foundational principles and created something that was unique to Target and relevant to all the different designers and engineers, scientists, and categories that we have on our team. The training is based on 4 core principles. I've already heard them iterated in the presentations this morning, but material choice is first and foremost, ensuring that we're thinking about renewable or recyclable materials. Designing for durability, ensuring that we're not over-designing. We don't necessarily want products to last forever. We want to design with the intention that they could be taken apart and recycled, but also, do the job that it needs to do. repairability. So, enabling the ability to fix an item. We'll, for example, put an extra button on a shirt, in case a button falls off, the consumer can easily repair it. And then, of course, recyclability.
Yeah, so you sell a lot of different products, and so, the cleaning products versus a piece of apparel, is there, different training that you have to do for the...
We did the same training, and it was really about mindset, not a step-by-step. And it was teaching our teams to think about the whole ecosystem, thinking about, a much bigger problem to solve. And most importantly, we've always leveraged design thinking as our design practice, so designing for a user and a user need. Now we still have to deliver against user needs, but we have to think about multiple users or multiple uses.
Got it.
So,
okay.
that sums it
But
up.
this is at the corporate level. This is an
Yes.
ethos at the corporate level. Same thing at 3M, right? So what about your training and engagement? Like, is this part of, like, when you go in to get oriented at 3M?
Sure.
Is this talked about?
Absolutely. So we have different types of orientation programs that we have for employees. Just a couple weeks ago, I had the honor of speaking to our new technical employees orientation, and every one of them goes through a sustainability education along with various other types of mentoring and engagement that way. A big piece of that is that sustainability value commitment. We're currently in the process of training all around the world, over 10,000 employees that are specifically working towards new product development. And we think about kind of three ways that happens. Yes, the materials choice, and that's one that we talked about with the Scotch Brite. We're also doing some great things with Insulate. But it's also about what do our customers do with our products? What's the sustainability value to help our customers reduce their emissions or to help develop their circularity? Or it's about new business models that we bring forward. So things like the introduction of smog-reducing roofing granules. Who would think that you could put new roofing granules technology on your roof? Looks the same, acts the same, but you're taking smog out of the air. So it's really important to us to be thinking about that whole business model approach and partnering with others to do that. So I am excited to share, can I share today? That as of today, we have announced that we are now members of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation and part of the CE 100. So we're happy to join that as well.
Julie, I want to go back to something that as a retailer you do, which is take back, right?
Yes.
And I was fascinated to learn about this. I don't, full disclosure, I don't have any children, so I did not know about the car seat take back program. And I thought, whoa, how cool is that? What I'm curious about is what your product designers were able to learn from the stuff that came back, right? You talked about durability. So taking something back, like what can an organization learn for design from doing so?
That's really interesting. And so basically for 3 years now, we've been taking back car seats. It's been 500,000 units, 14 million pounds of raw materials that are recyclable. We partnered with Waste Management, and they helped disassemble the product and then upcycle. So the products are now being upcycled into plastic buckets and carpet padding. But, and it was a national brand program. However, if we were to design a car seat, how do you design it in a way where disassembly is easy, right? Because car seats aren't designed with that in mind. And so I think that's another example of kind of thinking through the principles, and you want it to be durable, but you also want it to be able to move into the next stage of its life cycle, which is upcycle.
I thought it would also be interesting. People often think of us as the consumer products that we partner with Target with and do so much. 3M actually has a broad diversity of our portfolio across electronics with the partners that we just saw on stage, or in the safety space. But we have a significant presence in healthcare as well. And we do take back very quietly, I would say, but everything from Littmann stethoscopes to patient warming devices and different types of test equipment that happens in hospitals. And we take that back, about 150,000 devices per year. we bring back and we repair what's needed, give it back either to the same customer or take it back as a take-back program to offer to others. And it's a great opportunity to learn more about your product and what's working with people, where the weaknesses might be, and help you take the design to the next level.
Mm-hmm. So with the limited time that we have left, I'd like each of you to spend a few moments just talking about how thinking about circular design has been an advantage for your company. It's like, as we know, people tend to think of sustainability-related initiatives as these like trade-offs.
Right.
So not true. What advantages, what new opportunities have you realized by thinking and getting your product design teams to think this way? Julie?
I would add it is increasing engagement of our team, hands down. So maybe not what you expected to hear, but our teams want to serve a greater purpose and do good, and this is such an incredible way for them to contribute to the world, and the engagement has, increased incredibly, and we're really proud of that.
I would totally agree that our employees and prospective employees are really excited about things related to sustainability, related to closing that loop in a circular economy, and it really makes a difference in recruiting and getting people engaged on programs like our 15% culture. People are always wanting to work on sustainability for that space. It's exciting. But it does also make us smarter in terms of those redesigns that I mentioned. And I think it helps us be a better partner with our customers and suppliers, because we're really thinking about that full circle of how can we collaborate together for this common set of objectives. So it's great for innovation.
One quick sentence or two answer. What advice would you give to companies in this room trying to think this way? Where would you start or where would you not start?
I would just say start small.
Smart.
You need to
just do it.
You just need to do it.
I think that's great. And I would say partner with your customers, learn about what their challenges are. And we do that, don't we?
That too.
Learn about what their challenges are and then work on them together.
Right. So Julie,
yes.
I apologize again for my spectacular space out.
That is no problem.
Please join me in thanking Julie Guggemos from Target and Gayle Schueller from 3M. Great conversation. Thank you very much.